it is what that promise of greatness is, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. The Honourable Simon Bridges.
Well, Mr. Speaker, after a speech like that, no wonder Labor's starting to cut the Greens' lunch. Mr. Speaker, the stats were out last week, and they're done by Statistics New Zealand. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down, but what they show quite clearly in regional New Zealand, all around the country, we are growing and we are going well as a country, Mr. Speaker. 12 out of the 15 regions in New Zealand have had really good, actually I would argue, strong GDP growth in the last year. The Bay of Plenty, where I hail from, 7.7% growth. Remarkable, Mr. Speaker, on the back of a productive sector, huge amount of services work, kiwi fruit that I know, Mr. Speaker, you know a bit about from past careers. Auckland, 6% of a 6% regional GDP growth. Otago, 4.8% regional GDP growth, and others, actually quite a number of others, at plus 3% growth, whether it's Northland, Mr. Peters, whether it's Waikato, whether it's Mr. McKelvey, Manawatu, Wanganui, and that's not just your farming empire, Mr. McKelvey, that's created that growth. Whether it's Canterbury, we have had very strong regional growth in this country, a national increase of some 4.1%. In fact, if you think about the last 5 years in this country, despite the GFC, despite that the global economic conditions, despite earthquakes, despite droughts, actually despite floods, I almost was going to say pestilence, despite commodity price fluctuations, we have had strongly growing regions in this country. And it's a fantastic thing to see. Despite what nature has thrown us as a country, despite what global conditions have thrown us, we have had strong regions in this country. And we shouldn't take that for granted, actually. I totally accept, and can I thank New Zealanders all around this country who've got up, who've had a go, who've had innovation, who've been productive in what they've done. They deserve the credit for the growth of this country in recent years. But what's also true is there's been strong economic leadership from the leaders of government. And I single out in particular Bill English, our Finance Minister and now the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Mr. Speaker. He has balanced our books. He has ensured with the sectors of New Zealand that we have a more competitive, productive economy. And contrast that with overseas. Contrast with that what we've seen in America with the so-called Rust Belt. Actually, parts of that have gone backwards. Regionally speaking. We're in the UK, not entirely. Some parts of the north, though, have gone backwards. Here we've got growing regional economies all over New Zealand. We've got a diversifying economy. Agriculture, primary production has been a really strong part, continues to be, of our country and our GDP. But of course, services have really come up to take their load, whether it's tourism, whether it's international education, or whether it's other areas as well. And ICT, the third biggest export for New Zealand today, just shows that actually it's an increasingly sophisticated economy that we have as well. Niche manufacturing, many other areas. And we've had unprecedented infrastructure investment. We are building a more resilient economy. And of course, all of this, the growing economy, all that we're doing, the resilience we're building in means that whether it's Canterbury, whether it's Kaikoura, the leadership of New Zealanders, the leadership of Bill English means that we're able to cope with those things that are thrown at us. And it has been inclusive growth, Mr. Speaker, spread geographically throughout New Zealand. Even the bottom three, can I say, we take the West Coast, Southland, Taranaki, three that were down a bit on last figures. Traditionally our strongest economies, hit by commodity prices in the last year, but still strong, still resilient at diversifying their economies, and the government has plans in those areas. And of course all of this, the regional GDP, the growth that we're seeing around New Zealand isn't just for the sake of it. It's not just so that we can talk about the numbers. What it means is more real jobs just like Ann Tolley was talking about with Project 1000, just like we're seeing with Kaikoui Grow, another government initiative up in the north, and it means higher incomes across New Zealand. And just as we're getting that, the resilience and so on there, we're getting it from the government's
time has expired. Mika Whaitari.